Well, here we are. I am going to make a video, the political video. I haven't done any of those for some time. Well, I am going to give you a video about politics a little bit. Not in my best interest. Vladimir Putin, in fact, was looking for this kind of video because he didn't like nothing more than to get rid of me, together with some other people I know. Actually, quite many of these people right now very, very unsatisfied with my being a witness to Ukraine. Maybe even from the side of Ukraine, I don't know. There sure will be a pressure on Ukraine too to get rid of me. Not in my best interest, because Illuminatis are doing something that made everybody involved in MK Ultra nervous, frantic about it, agitated. Talking about the Western journalists who did side with Ukraine. And I do want to say thank you to these journalists, because there was a lot of good souls when it comes to these journalists that desperately, just like myself, they were trying to do best for Ukraine, and they cheered, and they were just looking forward to anything they could turn an advantage to Ukraine during these negotiations which went on, political stuff, to which evidently, while subjected to MK Ultra, I was not the only person I witnessed to. You must realize that a good number of Western journalists, when nervous about Zelensky's recent statement in respect to well, the statement is regarded to how war will end sooner with Trump's administration side of the White House. That statement truly made everybody insane. Now, I would not even go and do the video. You wouldn't even hear me about this stuff today, because the news that follow up on this one was a long-range missiles Ukraine Biden just gave to Ukraine, allow them to use the missiles, and this is what this video is going to be about. This is going to be about the video about some other scenarios that were involved in MK Ultra. Probably I made nervous right now, or by now, a lot of people. Don't worry, I'm not going to go too far with it. But it's important for me to stress, it's important for me to place Ukraine back on the track. These are very, very uncertain times, unstable times. I must say that Zelensky also stated to me that he no longer will need me and stuff like this. It was that kind of stuff into it. For me, this video is not very convenient. But it's important for Ukraine, this video. This video still is important for Ukraine, for people of Ukraine that are watching this program. I will say to you like this. The decision that you see here, the long-range missile striking Russia, the decision, I protested against this decision. The most severely during MK Ultra. I became completely mad. I became a madman when I heard about this decision. And the reason for my protesting this decision was because it was far too fucking late. When I say far too fucking late, in numbers, or let's say in facts, I am just going to refer instead to Ukraine. Lost village, town, and I'm gonna go like this, and the only thing I will do is I am gonna go like this. I'm gonna do this here. This is for the last week, and you can see that they lost more and more and more villages. All this stuff was involved in MK Ultra. That's exactly what I protested to. This is the stuff that made me vigorous about long-range missiles. I don't know how the fuck it happened, because during MK Ultra we had a NATO inside of Ukraine. We have a NATO troops within 1 year, 6 months. The NATO troops appeared in Ukraine. This is what went on during MK Ultra. In reality, none. We had more than 100 F-16, F-15 combination fighter jets in Ukraine. We have about 130, 140 F-16, F-15 fighter jets in Ukraine. That's a considerable force to reckon with. Ukraine edge, on the edge, we have Barthawks used in Ukraine. We haven't seen any, and so far we have seen maybe 9 F-16 fighter jets that arrived to Ukraine. I don't see anything that was involved in MK Ultra that would make the differences that would make in my eyes taking place, that would take place in Ukraine. And I'm very, very afraid the same thing is this deal here, which possibly even Zelensky is trying to use to close the deal. This is the deal portion of the stuff that made absolutely every journalist crazy, nervous. These people have gone for decades to watch this case, to participate in these war negotiations and so on. And when it came up to here with this kind of statement, with this kind of stuff, especially in my point of view, with my eyes, the way I saw things unroll as Zelensky, Putin, Trump, Zelensky visit USA. Donald Trump went on to compare Zelensky's option with a war criminal. I'm not going to say with a Putin, but the International Criminal Court assigned a title to Vladimir Putin, a war criminal. So I don't know how you could possibly step on a stage as a potential American president and compare somebody like Zelensky to a war criminal, basically suggesting world that you're not decided about which political option you will go for. War criminal is a political option. Oh, okay. All right, that's something new. That's the kind of stuff that definitely did make a strong impact on me when I heard this statement like that. I'm not condemning this statement because I don't know anywhere even near as much as obviously as Zelensky. We're talking about the president of Ukraine, who in my opinion have ran world of affairs, war affairs in Ukraine extremely efficiently. I think that he is very efficient individual. I think that he did a very good job. But it was the rest of the people that tried to make that difference. Journalists I'm talking about that lambasted assistance to Ukraine. And it just goes so far and nothing further than that. But it did demonstrate that Zelensky was in it to get the war, at least in my eyes, the way he ran the war with as little as possible Ukrainian casualties. That's very important to me. Wounded people in the right direction, because his stance is pro-Western stance. His West is pro-NATO, pro-European Union stance. And I cannot see anything wrong with it. I cannot condemn a man to see himself in NATO and European Union as a part of it, as somebody who is taking a part in its affairs and wants them to participate and wants them to be part of it, of Ukraine and so on. I can't condemn him for that. He did a hell of a good job, if you ask me. I cannot condemn him in absolutely any way. And it was really not his fault that the Ukrainian military did not have a basic artillery shells, bullets and stuff like this. I mean, stuff that we heard about this war was not exactly the best one. With, just as I stated here also, as what I'm going to use as an opportunity here, Ukraine, yeah, oh, this one here. No. I explained about assistance, right? Assistance. Where the hell is it? This one, no. I explained well about the assistance, about the tracker. Oh no, I got this Elon Musk here, and that's where the problem was. Ukraine, for the cost of Ukraine. I want you to see this. I want you to read this in a video. This is what I have written in the article. For the $300 billion that should be confiscated to Vladimir Putin, Ukraine got equivalent to 203 billion dollars. You know what I mean? This is from the tracker, from the site which tracks absolutely every dime that is given to Ukraine. And you know, frankly, when you look at this assistance, this was just as in the case of Russia, basically. The Western outdated, aged arsenal was emptied out of depots, out of warehouses. They sent that stuff to Ukraine. They didn't send the top-notch technology. Question if it will make any difference due to so much garbage that Putin imported to Ukraine. I don't know, but definitely the assistance was not the assistance in a form of military assistance up to date, something that would fit modern warfare. Unfortunately outdated tanks, all kinds of garbage rolled in there. Some MiG fighter jets, all the jets, Sukhois and stuff like this is what Ukraine got. And now I'm really shocked because it was Poland that gave. You know, those MiGs are not bad planes, they're good. But, you know, nothing significant. We got few old, aged F-16s and stuff like that. Maybe the latest decision to give the Ukraine ability to strike Russia in the ass is going to change also that landscape. That will make sense. But, you know, Ukraine could only do as much and as much with what Ukraine has. I was a little bit nervous and angry about Zelensky not placing in motion bigger, much greater number of people, giving the relief those on the front lines, or giving them ability to relax, rest, while at the same time train new troops and stuff like this. But really, Ukraine cannot all do all this stuff because it's just Ukraine. It's got now, once the country used to have 53 million people, today, now at this point in time, they only have 38 million people. Much of the country is in a really bad shape, and really you have to economically run power this country. It's really a job for the NATO. So this is just really no way for me to criticize Zelensky. I watched every step he made, and how I'm not going to say I was looking forward to break his ass. Simply I wanted to be honest about the stuff that went on, compare this with MK Ultra, and that's exactly what I did. In my opinion, he did a hell of a good job. There is no way I can go after him. Now, around the corner, there is this issue that appeared. Now, the Zelensky is a little boogeyman. He knows how to get attention too. I'm going to say this to the journalists, not to give up. The logical thing is to you know,
продовжили працювати над пунктами нашого плану
like this. It's his job basically
внутрішньої
to get
стійкості.
attention from the
Сьогодні
people.
два
This is
фундаментальні
just his
пункти.
job, and you know, he's doing good. This was his idea already during MK Ultra. So
що стосується нашого захисту і все, що стосується наших людей. І військових.
okay, now it
і
doesn't
цивільних,
stop.
і
It doesn't
дорослих,
stop
і
in the
дітей.
connection. Something is wrong with the
Мета
connection. There you go. It keeps
очевидна.
going.
Це захист від російської агресії.
I'm gonna do it like this. Folks, they negotiated with the Russians about the long-range strike even before a few days before Trump is gonna get into the office, just as the situation is. For me, totally unreasonable was fact that I mean, I'm greatly disappointed about this Western assistance, honestly. Greatly disappointed I am that this decision came finally now. I don't even know how I would. Basically, this video weighs all the weight on a late decision, extremely late decision of Joe Biden to allow Ukraine to strike Russia in its rear. Too little time, in my opinion. But then again, I'm not Ukrainian president and I'm not Joe Biden. I don't know what they have in it. However, they did negotiate it, and it came clearly during MK Ultra that this was the goodbye, the real goodbye, the end of the Ukraine. It all ended with claims. Like I said, I'm not going to go too far with it. It ended, however, with celebration of the fall of Ukraine because of this reason, because it was too late to make it up for the lost time, even in respect to the Russian air defense, even in respect to Russian abilities to strike fighter jets from the great distances, BUK missile systems, this air defense system they have, that S-400, these are the systems and other systems also that they have that should have been taken out of ground already a long time ago, and they were just not. And what's happening now is the whole thing is getting on Donald Trump's shoulders. And you know, if I go and I Google Donald Trump, here we go, Donald Trump, and you're gonna see his team, his Kushners, and Trump seniors like Donald seniors, Erickson's, already crying about the long range missiles and stuff like this. If you go here, you're gonna do some of this here, and you're gonna see Crimea River right there. What's the matter with this here? Yeah, nothing much. No, you just go Ukraine. And you can see how upset they are. They are all upset. Oh, there you have a junior. You see, attack Biden for allowing Ukraine to use his missile and this and that. When I think about that, Donald Trump is not yet in the jail, and it's just my question to the U.S. government: why not? I'm not here to give Donald Trump credibility in absolutely any fucking way. I'm telling you right now, either way, one way or the other, I will go after Donald Trump, and I don't care. I don't care about Ukraine or no Ukraine or whatever the situation might be. I'm not here to do this shit. This is not what the fuck I'm here for. Don't get me wrong. If you think I'm here to give a break to Donald Trump, You're wrong. I'm not going to give him a break. That's not what I'm here for. How nice the computer is just changing the screen into something that really shouldn't, but yeah, then again, it's my fault. I'm keeping this stuff open. I'm not here to give Donald Trump a break. I don't know, honestly, and I'm sure that Zelensky is aware of it, but when you're doing a politic, yeah, it's definitely is important to side with a new official that is elected as a foreign politician, if God forbid you find yourself in a situation like Ukraine have. But you know, folks, there is something more important. I'm going to tell you from my point of view. It's extremely important that you keep up the stuff, that you go about your stuff without deviating from the target, basically. That you keep, you know, your eye on a target and you pursue your stuff. Yeah, every government has its agenda, and this agenda is intertwined with other governments. They find common goals and they also find common disagreements, and based on those, then they entangle then again with maybe even their adversaries of their allies or whatever it is that they do, or whichever way they do it. I've heard all kinds of stuff during MK Ultra. My point of view, I'm too small. I'm just a small little thing. I don't even have my own country. Is simply a principle which will not allow. I will not allow my principles to deviate from goals, from my agenda. And for fuck's sake, because of one politician even being elected a US president, honestly, I would simply keep my eye on target and continue to do my stuff with as little as promotion, making a promotion for somebody that, you know, had to say about me during my visit to the US, as much as about a war criminal there from Russian side. Simply I would do my stuff, I would do my business. Yeah, of course it's very important that you keep in contact, in touch with the people. You must absolutely not isolate yourself. But yeah, it makes me, I'm not going to say it makes me nervous, but it did make a lot of people nervous. Fact that, you know, the war will end sooner with Donald Trump's administration inside of the White House. Like I said, again, this stuff would calm me down. It really would calm me down because of the long-range missiles, the permission United States of America gave to Ukraine. But this permission, I'm going to have to accent to you, drove me absolutely insane during MK Ultra due to latency of, you know, of the permission itself. It's about this man that is about to enter the White House, and apparently that his intentions are not in line with Ukrainian integrity as whole. He wants to do some real estate business in Ukraine and such. And so, as far as Donald Trump, I don't know. Maybe I am, like I said, I'm not Ukrainian president. I'm not Joe Biden. Maybe Donald Trump has a surprise for the world. Who knows? It definitely doesn't look like. And to me personally, this here, it didn't calm me down after this statement was made. So for that matter, I would also say to people, I don't know anything about this stuff here. I know more about this stuff here. This stuff here, however, based on MKUltra scenario and based on how they coordinated with the Russians, ended with defeat of Ukraine. So this is the stuff that actually makes me nervous. It's bizarre. It was bizarre to watch how Putin pounded Ukraine mercilessly. Even on a day when Joe finally decided will give Ukraine a green light for long-range strikes on Russia. But it seems like it just didn't change any fact about it. It seems like nothing really changed for a very, very long time. You know, Zelensky started to ask Joe Biden for the long-range strikes way back, right? I don't know, at the beginning of this year, sometimes. Look, we are now in November. So, you know, if this shit was given to him at least 6 months earlier, no, he didn't start at the beginning of this year. He was trying to get them this for 1,000 days since the war started in Ukraine. It's almost now going to 1,000. It's almost 1,000 day, right? Is it maybe 1,000 day? How many days are they? That's 1,000 day. Look at that. It's 1,000 day today. So there you go. That's a video for Ukraine. And so this is very, very, very sad news. It's extremely, extremely sad news. Zelensky was trying to make a point. He was trying to make the deal. He was trying to break through. But it seems to me that the only thing that's going to happen is Prihayam. Yeah. The only thing that happened was it looks like Ukraine is going to end up paying even for the student loans. It wasn't only Biden's administration that paid a lot of student loans. That amounts to about almost $200 billion. But it looks like Ukraine is going to give another 100 to the students so they can pay the loans. So this is a bizarre stuff I see happening, and according to MKUltra, it did have a very, very negative end for Ukraine. Unless, that is, Donald Trump would have a surprise for the world. And so you guys can go and you can hope for the best in the worst. Either way, chat, I will pursue my court case against Trump. So good luck with that too. I don't know. Yeah. I will do this one here. The war will end sooner. Long range rockety rock pock pock. Okay, Putin should have about 70 Su-57. And next to the North Korean troops, that entered Ukraine, and which, according to MKUltra, would trade a Russian Kursk region, you know, if they would manage to liberate, for the sake of the Russia, area of the Russian Kursk region where Ukrainian military entered. Vladimir Putin promised North Koreans they would be entitled to a little strip of land here that Russia have taken away from them long time ago. So this shit is just really bizarre. Things are developing in a totally outlandish way. I don't know. Obviously, Ukraine is not fighting Russia only. It's been found that most of the drones are built in China. There is some Russian factories in China, and China is pretty big. Whatever the factory cannot manufacture, China can, and deliver that through their factories to Russia, etc., etc., etc. This war is not looking good for Ukraine. It's extremely, the approach that was taken was just really, I'm not optimistic about this stuff, and I really don't see myself in this statement here that war will end sooner with a Trump. It definitely was taking a very slow pace, long pace, in many ways extremely ineffective pace under Joe Biden, and when it comes to Donald Trump, I am even more afraid how that's going to look like. You know, that really doesn't look optimistic. I mean, that looks shitty-mistic. Does not look good. Far too little and far too late, in my opinion. I'm going to give you my opinion. Far too little, far too late. What you say, how you view the things is, but this here could be a preliminary, a prelude into a surrender of Ukraine. Thanks for watching this video. Till next time. Yeah, I know they are nervous about me being on visible because of what I stated to you. I am a witness of this stuff, and it doesn't come good for them, not for one side, not for the other. When you do the real estate sale, this kind of sale, you don't want the witnesses like this anywhere on the stage. Vladimir Putin does not want that. I don't think Sia wants that. Definitely doesn't want that. And I'm afraid, like I stated, that also some part of the Ukrainian coalition might, and I'm not sure about it, not want this. So what lays ahead of us is basically days of endless wonder. It could end like this, it could end like that. If it was ever more undefined about how this conflict can end, it's today, it's now. It doesn't look clear at all where the whole thing is heading. I have no idea what this stuff is about. And as I stated, way too late, far too little, and way too late. Things aren't looking really good for Ukraine from the perspective of what Donald Trump, even his son, is displaying. A week ago, Donald Trump Jr. mocks Zelensky and such. This here is very worrisome to me, this stuff here. This is what Vladimir Putin heavily relied on during MK Ultra. This kind of threats, nothing is being done about it. It's one of the reasons why I think that this is just a short trip till Donald Trump grabs his chair on January the 20th. He's gonna be again given the right to go to White House. It's called Inauguration Day, and it definitely doesn't look good when I consider that this latest long-range strikes on Russia as per being allowed ever such a violence. Look at this here, Russian glide bomb. This was a week ago. Killed 6, 30 injured. Ukraine with more aerial attacks and so on. Today, I don't know, 140 drones and stuff like this. Incredible stuff, with some journalists basically who participated in MK Ultra, like these people from Guardian, CNN. They have certain journalists that were heavily involved in it, and they escorted the entire negotiation from A to Z. Just like myself, no longer seeing themselves in a possibility that long-range strikes finally allowed to Ukraine would make a change for better in respect to Ukraine. That it would make any difference is what journalists that truly know much more than I do, familiarized with the world of whatever they presented them, they make themselves a much closer, better idea also with the special government clearance that they would give them to educate themselves about really what this is going to be all about. These people don't see this as an option anymore that would change the course of the war for the sake of Ukraine. And so almost at the same day you can see Putin coming out with the nuclear threats and stuff like this. It does not look good. This is the stuff that does not look good. In my opinion, too little, too late. Not a fault of Zelensky. Zelensky was thrown in the picture without having absolutely any choice other than, well, do it. That's all there is to it. Or up to you. What is it? How you want this stuff. He prepared himself very well. There might have been certain things that I definitely would have done a lot of things different. But this rests on conscience of Ukrainian people that watch this program also, not only whatever want inside of Ukraine. I started at the very beginning. It was all about the real estate sale when it comes to Ukraine. And truly nothing was being done about it. So with that being said, I don't have any hard feelings for whoever enforced this war, whichever way. This was the way. I would say far too little, far too late, I would say. Way too little, way too late. And still with a major problem. Circling around, doing its rounds, searching for a conflict. And I find this quite, I don't know, quite fucking insane that you would allow even something like this to come anywhere close to British or French shore or European shore. I don't know. It's a biggie. It's a big issue. It's not being taken seriously. None of the stuff that was discussed during MK Ultra really came anywhere on a picture as part of the reality. I don't know. The nuclear threats of Vladimir Putin mostly went unresponded. Nobody contested them. Putin pretty much stated whatever he wanted to say. And we have a really crazy situation forming itself also in the US. Totally crazy situation. If that one was not crazy enough, this is getting crazier. So the circumstances that it is definitely talking loudly for the sake of Putin in Ukraine. Little is being done about this war. Little is being done to countermeasure this, to give then again, I might be completely wrong, as I stated. I don't know anything about what picture might turn into. Anything is still very possible, but I can understand the response from the journalists. They got so hysterical about, Zelensky stating that war will end faster with Donald Trump inside of the White House. That's close to nonsense, and let's say you cast something out there that a lot of people have rated as not admissible, not as legitimate, not as realistic. Not as a realistic option. A lot of stuff I found in there is unrealistic. Those threats that keep coming from Moscow, and very little that's being done about it. Very little that's been done about it. That's just very unrealistic. It's just something for me to expect. We, the pro-Ukrainian people, are gonna face a big resistance next to Donald Trump, also from the side of the British, French, basically opposition, the so-called opposition of the politicians on the European Union continent, on the Europe, basically throughout the Europe. Britain is not in the EU anymore, so this definitely does not make me comfortable, this kind of stuff. It looks to me like a perfect setup for the beginning of the end of the war, rapid loss of the war to Russia in Ukraine. That's what this looks like to me. Very bad. Very bad. I don't know. I think it's always time for statements such as the one Zelensky made in respect to how war is going to end sooner this way with Donald Trump inside of the White House. There's always plenty space for that. And the circumstances, the way they're adding to something totally different. And I think that's exactly the direction we're now heading according to MK Ultra scenario. Yeah, there is that other scenario they involved in. Two other scenarios I'm not going to be talking to you about, but I have seen close to at least 10 of those scenarios involved in MK Ultra, of which none ever came through during already 1,000 days of war in Ukraine. We're now very close to 3 years. We passed probably already 3 years, haven't we? It's just 95 more days, 3 more months, and it's gonna be 3 years of war in Ukraine. You know what I mean? So I'm afraid very little response for a lot of threat from Vladimir Putin, meaning that the threat was not taken seriously, and the threats are not taken seriously whenever there is an agreement under the table. That's all.